Peace fam, what's good? I'm D and you are at Divination with D. And I just got done recording a video talking about ways to know if you were under some type of spiritual attack. But as I was doing that video, I wanted to also talk about the altar. Because I started speaking about an altar, and I talked about, one of the ways that you can know, or one of the ways that you can be protected is through your ancestors, if you venerate your ancestors. So I wanted to talk about altars. I don't know how many of you do honor your ancestors, and it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It can be something that is very simple when it comes to honoring your ancestors. Although I feel like things should be done reverently. Okay? Because it's like this. You show them, and I have to be careful when I say this. You have to show them the same kind of reverence in their spirit life that you would have shown them, or that you did show them in their physical life. Now, if you just somebody that's just a disrespectful motherfucker and you did not respect them, well, shame on you. Because I tell you what, if you had the kind of mother that I had and you tried to say something to back talk, you was going to catch yourself picking yourself up from the floor. So you want to show them reverence and respect the same way that you would when they were on this earth, in this dimension. So, I would say, when it comes to building an altar, you want to find a nice space, whatever space that you can. And it could be kind of challenging for some, because maybe you don't want to get looked at in a weird kind of way for venerating your ancestors, because maybe you're like me, the only person in the family who does it. And when people come over, you just don't want to explain yourself to them. Put the altar in your bedroom if you feel, or you can have it, some people have put it in their closets. Put it in a place that you feel would be, it would just be undisturbed. But find a place. You can do like a makeshift altar. At one point, because where I was staying, because I felt like, well, I'll say it like this. Ancestors didn't like the fact that I was sharing altar space with them. I started using my car as my place of honoring them, and I had a candle in the car, which I still have in my car. I have incense in the car, and I would just come to them and talk to them in the car, and I would do it either early in the morning, or I would do it on my way to work. Sorry, y'all. But I started communicating with them that way, and it actually felt a lot better. I feel like they started coming around more, showing me signs more. 1 second. And I have things going for them actually right now, because I wanted them to be present. So there's two up there, right there. Okay, that work right there. That's for me doing the cleansing. But yeah, you want to make sure that you can single out some space where you can have them. Now, I'm not going to get this all correct as far as some passages, but again, I was shown some things, and I started to do this. because one of the things is I know that, and some of you may not be Christian, don't feel like you have to be a Christian to do these things, because I'm not a Christian anymore. But I was showing some things as far as actual voodoo practice, and I started to understand why the Bible was so important to my grandmother. She had a verse for everything, or she was always running to the Bible. When it came to, certain things, she was always running to the Bible, even when she felt like somebody was doing some harm to her, and she'd be like, oh, I had to say a prayer against you. And I'm thinking, a prayer against you? Against someone? Really? Yeah, she didn't say a prayer against you, because you're not about to come in and disturb her peace, okay? So, get you a space, very simple space, and you want to have a candle, preferably a white candle. You can go to the dollar store and get these white candles. They're $1.25 now, because the Dollar Tree is not just a dollar anymore. It's $1 and some change. You want to have some water, and you want to, have that in a glass. It could be any kind of glass. Now, I have my little Coca-Cola glasses there that I like. I don't know if y'all can even see that right, because I can't really. Let me come over here. But my little Coca-Cola glasses there. But I prefer those. But if you just want something simple, and I don't think I can turn this while it is recording, but you just want to have something as simple as this: a candle and water. Those are going to be the most important basic things that you need, because the candle is for light, and I kind of look at it as like that guiding light, or that doorbell that notifies your ancestors to say, ding dong, I'm here. Like when you ring a bell at someone's house or knock on the door, you let them know that, I'm here, I want to talk to you. Put a picture up if you can of them. If you can't put a picture up there of them, maybe you can write down their name, possibly even their birthday, so that you know, or that they know, this is the address where you should be coming, where I'm at, for us to talk. But that light, because it is dark on the other side, that light adds a light of a pathway for them to find you. That's why we use the candle. The water, like I said, it is, I didn't say, but I said in the last video, it is a conduit for you to be able to access them, and them to access you. It is the bridge that connects the spirit world to the physical world. Other things that you could have on there that would be nice, does not have to have it, but you can have a plant as a symbol for the earth, and an incense. Incense are good because it represents the communication and prayers that may go up. But when you are doing incense, you want to make sure that it is something that is pleasing. Now, it is okay to do certain incense, but I'm going to tell you, there are certain incense that you don't want to do that are for cleansing, because understand, these incense clear away spirits. So if you are someone who is constantly, say, burning dragon's blood, which I was recently told through Spirit, this keeps them away. This keeps us away. We're not going to be able to give you that communication that you like, because if you're always burning that, we're not going to be in the vicinity. Clears away everything, good and or positive and negative energies, or good and bad energies. So that is not a incense that you want to constantly be burning all the time, especially on your altar. You may burn it around if you feel like there is some energy that needs to be dispersed. But as far as something that is inviting, they have lavender incense that is nice and calming. You can do that. Also, things that just smell good, like rose, incense, and each incense is going to do something different because of the properties that are in it. But a nice smelling incense is beneficial. Then also, wherever you are, you want to make sure that you are being respectful. So I know that when I was in my own place, when I lived in New York, I would always do it first thing in the morning. And I would do it again when I came in the evening. I would say good morning, and I would say good night to my ancestors. And it's something that, you do respectfully when you come into your grandmom's house or your mom's place, or you see them first thing in the morning. You say good morning. You address them. It was a sign of respect. And so that was something that I did. And I would also be barefoot, simply because I'm in the morning. But when I would come inside, trust me again, because I did not like shoes on in my place, I was always going to my altar with no shoes on. And that is something that I wasn't really paying attention to, but I was shown through Spirit that is a sign of reverence. Now, I will say this for those of you that understand where I'm coming from. In the Bible, when Moses approached the burning bush, before he approached it, he was told specifically, take off your sandals, take off your shoes, because the place in which you stand is holy ground. This is a sign of reverence that you will be giving your ancestors when you approach them. When you are talking to them in your space at the altar, you want to make sure that you take off your shoes before them, because this is a place of reverence. You want to give them that respect. And it is something that I had to take note of, and that I started doing again. It wasn't something that I was really aware of until it was shown to me. And this is, again, a revelation coming to me, being in a separate space from where I was before when I was staying with a friend. And so it has increased my communication, my lines of communication with my ancestors. Something else that I will say, and this may come as a bit of a shock to a lot of you, something that I don't do, and I feel like when I look back at when I first started doing my altar, those things that were prayers that were being answered and seeing results of communication coming through more, I did not have ancestor money to give or burn to the ancestors. And for whatever reason, I was watching somebody's video on ancestor altars, and they were talking about burning ancestor money to them, which I started doing, but recently have been made aware that is not a actual old tradition that was done with hoodoo practice. So I've stopped. There is no need to burn money and different things like that for ancestors. Why would you burn it anyway? And I always wondered that, like, how beneficial is it for them if it's being burned? That's like taking some money, taking your check and burning it up, and then giving them ashes to somebody and saying, here, spend this, go ahead and take care of yourself with that. How in the world are they going to take care of themselves with ashes when you just burnt up the money? Yeah. So I stopped. But again, like I said, the revelation of everything came to me after being in my own space where it's just been quiet and I could actually meditate and talk to them the way that I used to when I had my own place in New York. And what they found as being pleasing to them and what has not been pleasing. So don't worry about ancestor money. I know that a lot of people will talk about that, but it's just a hype. Especially if people want you to buy that money because they're just going to benefit off of it and your ancestors really don't. You want to have an appointed time if possible to speak with them, to talk to them, and talk reverently to them. Talk to them like you would me. And then the way that you can tell also when you communicate with them is through that water, being able to see the bubbles that start to occur in it and listen. Try to free your mind from any kind of thoughts, and there might be something that will end up coming through. You are clairaudient, clairvoyant. You might get certain pictures. You might get certain smells that will come through. You might even get like a particular taste in your mouth, and this could be your ancestors trying to reach out to you to let you know the things that they want now. I know what I was doing before when I was in New York is I would try to put different things on the altar that I knew my ancestors liked in their waking life. My grandmother loved black licorice, so I would put some black licorice on the altar for her. I had more space than what I have right now. Also, I put her favorite perfume on the altar for her. My mother, I put Granny Smith apple because that was one of her favorites. And my grandfather, I put his watch on there along with butterscotch candy. My grandmother liked those too. But I also put like cigarettes, and I put his liquor because he liked his drink every now and then. And I put some Jamaican rum on his side. And when I tell you, yeah, one of the ways that you can know also if ancestors are pleased and that their presence is there, the things that you have on the altar will go down quick. The liquid, when I would put liquor up there in the water a lot of times, sometimes I would fill it, and in one day it would be like that much of the water gone. And I'm like, I know that, communication is definitely there. Even like when I look at where I have the water in my cup now, the thing was up to the very, very top. If you see fast evaporation happening with the liquid that you put on your altar, then you know. But you, again, want to give them things that they enjoyed in their waking life. You don't have to like it, but give it to them, because guess what? It ain't for you. It's for them. And again, this is the place where you go to talk to them, to share with them how your day was. And don't look at it as something where it's just them feeling like they are the ones that always have to do something for you. Because how many times do we as humans get sick and tired of people always coming to us only when they want something? Always got their hand out. Gimme God gone. Okay, let's stop doing that to our ancestors and feeling like they are simply here just to do stuff for us, especially if we haven't put in any kind of work or anything to contribute towards them, at all. So, be mindful of how you talk to the ancestors, and, not always feeling like, every time you deal with them that you're always going to them and asking them for something, because that would get on my nerves. I can't stand when people just reach out to me all the time simply because they want something, or hide it under the guise of giving me something just so that they could get something. Spend time with me just because at the end of them spending time with me, they want to ask me for a favor or something. No, I don't like that. Spirits don't like that either. And they know when they know if your family knows you, they know when you trying to set them up because you want to ask them something, because we don't vary much from script. What else can I say? When it comes to your space, keep it clean. And even when it comes to the ancestors, be careful of when you are talking to them and how you approach them. Like, I would definitely say that you need to be using some Bible verses and saying something to clear up any kind of negative karma that you have built up with them, which I do regularly. Simply because all your ancestors are not for you. There are some ancestors that can't stand your ass. Y'all know how things are in the family, and if there was somebody in the family that you did not get along with in your waking life, well, guess what? You think that they changed just because they changed form? They probably still can't stand your ass. So when you are talking to them, make sure that you specify who you're, dealing with as far as asking for certain things, because some ancestors will intentionally fuck shit up for you simply because they just didn't like you. My thought is, try to do things to be kind with the ones that you know, because those are the ones that are going to fight for you and have your back. Simple as that. Anyway, I can't really think of anything else at this time when it comes to working the altar. I will say this, for those of you that aren't able to burn a candle, or and you don't have to keep it going for like a long time. It's just lighting it at that time that you want to speak to them and then putting it out. For those of you that aren't able to do that, I would say there's nothing wrong with getting a battery operated candle, because it's still, the idea of it is putting it in a place where you're going to talk to them, where you are inviting your ancestors to come in, and they know that this is our meeting place where we can talk. And so you are showing them a pathway of light where you want them to be directed to. And if you're not able to get pictures of them, you can write their name with their birthday, if you know, put that on your altar, so you know, or they know, this is where we should be coming to. And it would be nice to have a specific time, because understand, you are not the only person in your family tree that the ancestors may be attending to. They got business that they need to deal with and take care of, just like you got business still going on in physical world. They got things that they have to attend to in the spiritual world. So don't think that they just out there all willy-nilly floating around without anything to do. So that's why it is nice to actually have a certain time, doing it in the morning, then doing it again in the evening. So if you guys have any questions, in regards to altar work, please hit me up. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. If you guys have certain things that you tend to do and you have questions about it, whether you feel like it's right or wrong, or just, want to share the things that you do for your ancestors and your altars, if you have one, please, by all means, leave a comment. Like I said, I like to create a community for conversation where we can all talk and share, and let's please be respectful of other people when it comes to the comments that we leave. If this is something that you are not into, by all means, please don't leave a comment at all. You can just, keep on, pass your ass on. You don't even have to partake in this, because I know that there are some Christians that do come through here and they get offended because it's like, oh, we're not supposed to talk to the dead. But you be the first one to talk to a loved one when they pass away, going to their graveyard and putting some flowers on their grave. What do you think that is? That is all a form of communication with spirits. Okay? So be respectful, please. All right? I am D, and you are a Divination with D. And until the next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for coming to my channel and watching this video.